Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome back to Canvas Conversations. I'm your host Cole Hines, and today I'm going to be joined by art experts Matthew Schneider, Callum McFarlane, and Nina Verga. Together, we'll be discussing one of the most brutal paintings in Francisco Goya's Black Paintings collection, named posthumously after it was discovered in Goya's dining room. Saturn devouring his son has sparked many debates in the art community surrounding whether Saturn was a real subject or not. In the piece, Goya is said to have represented the Roman titan Saturn, also known to the Greeks as Kronos or Cronus, eating his own child after it was prophesied that he would be overthrown. In mythology, the sky and the earth get together and have many monstrous children, known as the Titans. These Titans are ruled over by their father, the sky, until one day, the Titan Cronus plots with his mother to murder the sky and take his place. Matthew, why don't you tell us a little bit more about this?
Thank you for that, Cole. My name is Matthew Schneider, and Cronus is successful, but as he claims his throne, he has delivered a prophecy that one of his children will overthrow him as he's done to his own father. In an attempt to avoid this, he began devouring all of his children after they were born. His wife/sister Rhea imagined to hide one of her children from Cronus by feeding him a rock that was wrapped in a blanket, and while hiding a boy in the cave and naming him Zeus. The boy grew up to poison Cronus, causing him to vomit up all of Zeus's siblings that would help him banish the Titans to the underworld. Thus were created the first 6 Greek gods: Hestia, Hera, Demeter, Poseidon, Hades, and Zeus.
Thanks for that, Matthew. That was really interesting. Why don't we hear a little bit more from Callum about the artist and the controversy surrounding this painting?
Supposedly a commentary on the inescapable nature of fate, it has actually been debated that the real subject of the piece was not Saturn, but actually a monster from the famous story Beowulf, called Grendel. Regardless, the wide eyes of the subject display a sense of urgency and panic, suggesting there was some twisted necessity for their actions. As for the artist of this masterpiece, Francisco Goya is widely known as one of the most influential and successful artists of his time. Born in 1746, Goya began his art journey as a court painter for Spanish nobility. That was until the 1790s, where his dark descent towards the black paintings began. After a prominent illness that was tearing its way through Spain left Goya death, his downward spiral was inevitable. This personal tragedy profoundly influenced his work, leading to a shift in his style and subject matter. His art began to reflect his discontent with society and humanity as a whole.
Thanks so much, Callum. That's a really interesting argument. Let's pass it on to Nina to tell us a little bit more about the ancient techniques they used to preserve the paintings, called strapo.
In his new home just outside Madrid, he would continue slipping into madness and would go on to paint 14 unnamed black paintings along the wall of his house, Saturn devouring his son being one of the most notable. In an interview with the knowledgeable security guard from the museum where this piece calls home, we questioned the technique to remove the black paintings from Goya's wall onto canvas. The Spanish local explained in broken English that the ancient Roman technique consists of attaching a canvas firmly to the painting on the wall, then easing off a thin layer of plaster and pigment. This is the reason why some of the paintings may look disconnected or even faint. Goya died alone in 1828 after placing himself in a twisted sort of self-exile at the peak of his insanity, casting him away from humanity in his final days.
Thanks so much, Nina, as well as Callum and Matthew for joining us today. And thank you all for listening. Make sure to stay tuned for next week when we'll be right here again on Canvas Conversations.